Recently, the Chinese press published an article with the title, "Biden is ready to deal with China, the U.S. military is prepared, the main battlefield has been formed." The following is the content. Today, the situation in the Middle East is moving towards a dangerous situation. The US and UK coalition brazenly launched airstrikes on Yemen, followed by Turkey attacking Iraq and Syria, with 11 missile units and drones. Iranian drivers are deployed at the border. In addition, Israel and Kazakhstan Mas and Lebanese Hezbollah are fighting fiercely. But even so, the US still does not give up free hands to deal with China. According to Global News, the U.S. Department of Defense released the first Defense Industrial Strategy Report on January 12. The core content is to encourage strengthening the production capacity of missiles, submarines, and aircraft, drones and attack aircraft, while introducing new companies to address supply chain ceilings. During this period, the U.S. once again inflated the China threat theory, forced this strategic alignment with China, declared more caution with China's strategic investments and suggested that Indo-Pacific allies and partners join forces to confront China. In the final analysis, this is still an old excuse to win over allies to advance the Indo-Pacific strategy and create a circle to contain China's rise. The main reason why the US suddenly wants to accelerate the production of these weapons is actually not China but inciting the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Military aid to Ukraine in the past 2 years has almost exhausted the purses and arsenals of the US and Europe. The US is acutely aware of the lack of capacity of the defense industry and wants to exaggerate that theory. China threat to gain more congressional funds and external resources, and accelerate the Indo-Pacific strategy to prepare for the possibility of a three-front war. So how bad is the US military's production capacity? The Washington Post previously reported that the US military's annual military spending exceeds $800 billion, far exceeding other countries in the world. However, with the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the US realized that its ability to its military production might not even be able to keep up with World War II. At that time, Ford could produce 1 plane per hour. During World War II, the United States produced more than 300,000 aircraft, 200,000 artillery pieces, and 90,000 tanks. But currently, producing the F-35 fighter jet requires 1,700 suppliers and more than 300,000 parts, and it takes 4 days from complete aircraft to assembly. In terms of ammunition, U.S. production capacity last year could not keep up with the consumption rate of the Ukrainian army. According to current U.S. production capacity, it takes at least 5 years to fully load weapons. And equipment such as Javelin, Stinger were provided. At that time, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine was only in its 14th month. If you wanted to fill all the equipment and inventory including artillery shells, missiles and basic drones, it would take 15 years in peacetime and 8 years in wartime. Today, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has not ended, but a new round of conflict between Palestine and Israel has begun, combined with blatant airstrikes by US and British coalition forces on Yemen. A war large scale can erupt at any time. America's time, weapons and equipment are no longer enough. Another reason why the US mentioned China is to reduce dependence on China's manufacturing industry and prepare for possible conflicts. In addition to low military production capacity, the United States also faces problems such as labor shortages and dependence on foreign suppliers. Therefore, relying on the so-called China threat theory, billions of dollars have been invested in the defense industry, and companies from the UK, Australia and other countries have introduced to the United States to reduce dependence on Chinese raw materials and materials. By increasing domestic ammunition production capacity, in fact, former US President Trump once shouted the slogan, "Make America Great Again," to promote US manufacturing to compete with China. After Biden took power, he continued his policy. Trump and his request to strengthen the defense industrial base. Assessing competitiveness, during the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the United States began to attract 27 EU countries, causing European capital and production activities to return to the United States and promoting America's reindustrialization process. Both presidents are doing the same thing, which means the United States is also aware of its shortcomings in the supply chain and manufacturing industry, exposing shortcomings and exaggerating the nexus theory. Threatening China will create great pressure within the United States, forcing Congress to tilt policy, financial and other resource allocations, which is also a means for the United States to strengthen its defense industry. In response to the United States' immoral actions, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Mao Ning said on the 12th that as the world's largest military power and the country with the highest military expenditure, what the United States lacks has never been the ability to wage war, but the ability to create and maintain peace. China calls on the U.S. to respect the will of regional countries, not to bring conflict and war into the Asia-Pacific region, and to do more things that are beneficial to peace and stability to bring the world together. The world is back on track of development. Yes, that's what the author of the Chinese article wrote, so what is your opinion? Let us know in the comments section below this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so we can see you in an upcoming video. Goodbye, see you again.